Ridley is the arch-nemesis of Samus from the Metroid franchise. He kinda resembles a purple Charizard who lives in space and have been starving for eons. No matter how many times Samus defeats him, he just can't seem to die. Fun fact, Ridley is officially dead at Super Metroid, confirmed by fan favorite game, Other M, and all subsequent plot appearances are either a clone or a virus that can steal their host appearance.
And the explosion that followed destroyed planet Zebes, along with the remains of Mother Brain, the space pirates, and my long-standing nemesis, and the baby.
Although he is one of the most iconic Nintendo characters, and the second biggest Metroid character now, as he appears in multiple Smash games, and as a playable character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, making an appearance in Dead or Alive, and even as a boss with a variant form in Nintendo Land on the Wii U, an underrated gem of a console. His origins were a bit more humble compared to what he is now. The first Metroid game came out in 1986. It was a simpler time back then. The game's only thing close to a story is the intro and the game's ending. There was only 3 bosses and one of them is Ridley. He did appear, but he wasn't anything special at all. He wasn't the last boss, there was nothing that would mark his boss battle to be anything unique. He was one of the 2 bosses that you have to defeat before you reach the final part of the game. Metroid 2 released afterwards on the Game Boy. None of the previous bosses made a return, and instead, it solely focused on Samus and her hunt for every Metroid except for one.
The baby.
That one last Metroid will be the key to Ridley's breakout success. So what happened that made this rather obscure dragon to suddenly become one of the big faces of the Metroid franchise? Super Metroid released, and for some odd reason, Ridley had the major role in the game. During the tutorial, when Samus delivered
The baby
to the scientists at Ceres, Samus left shortly after, but then she received a distress signal which made her return to the place. She went back to the ship only to find everyone is slaughtered. Going into a separate room,
The baby
is laying on the floor in a pitch black room, but after a few seconds, a glowing eye appeared in the room before he reveals himself to be none other than Ridley, who is now slightly bigger. In the battle that followed, Ridley bests Samus, or not if you're a pro, in the fight and escapes with
The baby.
At this moment, the greatest bounty hunter was bested by an enemy who is not even the final boss in the original game. Ridley was also the fake last boss before it was revealed to be Mother Brain again. Now this is all just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. I think Ridley got the honor of playing a major role was because there was only 4 major characters in the first Metroid game. There was Samus, Kraid, Mother Brain, and yours truly, Ridley. And it's a matter of process of elimination. Samus is out because she is the playable character. Mother Brain is out because they wanted to do the fake out last boss thing. So it was between Kraid and Ridley. Someone in the dev team probably thought it would be cool to make Kraid 50 times his original size from Metroid 1 to Super Metroid. So that makes Kraid a no-go now since his booty is now bigger than the galaxy itself. So this leaves Ridley left, who was probably thrown the pity bone to add some coolness to him. But in my opinion, he was too cool. Or it could be because he was named after Ridley Scott, so that's why he's important. Anyway, because of this little stunt from Ridley, his popularity shot up where he is not just a boss in the Metroid universe, but one of the familiar faces of the franchise now. He is a rising star, but he is still nowhere near his full potential at the time. Come 2002, 2 new Metroid games released, one for the Game Boy Advance that continues the saga from Super Metroid, and the other made by Retro Studio called Metroid Prime. That serves as a prequel and takes place after Metroid and before Metroid 2. In Metroid Prime, he's suited up and looking really cool. So while Ridley is in the game, where is Kraid and Mother Brain? Well, Mother Brain can't appear since it's a prequel, and she won't be repaired until Super. But as for Kraid, from what I can find out, he got shafted due to development time constraints, so this gives Ridley the limelight by himself. Back in Japan with Metroid Fusion, This is where Ridley was officially promoted from just another boss in the Metroid universe to the boss to Samus Aran. Upon completion of the game, we got treated to ending screens that appears to be younger Samus. Most of the screens shows her growing up and training with the Chozos, except for one screen. This screen shows a female holding onto the young Samus as a male is at the front, shooting at Ridley and his band of pirates. The female is Samus' biological mother, and the male at the front is very likely the biological father. I need to say biological here because as of this moment, Samus have too many daddies. We can only guess what happened to her parents after this encounter. That is until 2 years later, where a manga was released that reveals so much more. The manga that was released serves as a prequel to the franchise. A lot of the elements in it are highly regarded as canon until proven otherwise by future games or other media, or because we think it's lame. Here Ridley can talk human language, have a personality, and most of all, lets us have a glimpse into what his character is. It is in this manga that we found out that Ridley is the one who killed Samus' parents when she was just a child. This event will then traumatize Samus for her life, as we see on the second encounter with Ridley in the manga. At this point, we get to see Ridley reveals how vile he really is, taunting Samus, saying he may have eaten her parents to regenerate himself. He didn't say that to explain what happened. Oh no. He weaponized these words to cause damage and he was successful at it. This caused Samus to lose her mind. It is only with the help of Grey Voice, another one of Samus' daddies, that she and her band managed to escape from the space pirates' clutches, but in doing so, Ridley slays another one of her dads. This then leads up to Zero Mission, which is the remake of the first game. This would be a retelling of the original Metroid, but with little more lore added to it. In this game, Ridley isn't anything special on his encounter again, but it's what follows at the endgame content that make it special. After defeating Mother Brain and made her quick escape to her ship, the pirates shot her ship down, and she landed in Chezodia where she had to unravel the secrets. After that's all done and dusted, she encountered the true final boss, Mecha Ridley. A robot Ridley that was built by none other than Ridley himself. That's right, he himself built it, not his henchman. Ridley, the savage looking beast, built the robot himself. We know that he's smart as revealed in the manga, but old mate is an engineer from the looks of things. Now if you don't believe me, here's a quote from Mr. Yoshio Sakamoto, the man who is co-responsible for the Metroid franchise. He said, "Ridley made an image of himself to demonstrate his power by making that image as a powerful weapon. Incidentally, it is currently incomplete and is currently at the halfway stage, becoming more massive once the walking unit and flying unit is installed." Now let's move on to 2010, where the most controversial Metroid game released, Metroid Other M. It takes place after Super Metroid, but before Metroid Fusion. Ridley essentially became the center of attention in this game. He is legit a Pokemon now. He started out as the little birdie, evolving into mystery creature, and finally to the purple Charizard that we know and love. It's also in this game that we can see how deep Ridley have affected Samus' psyche. Now I personally really love Ridley's appearance scene in Other M, much to everyone's dismay. But maybe because I love villains, so my opinion is pretty warped.
Samus, do you copy? Samus! Samus, use your plasma beam!
No!
What's your status?
You can't be!
Samus, do you read me? Samus! Let her go! Don't you know how to treat a lady? Man, you got no style. I think I gotta teach you a lesson about settling. Come on!
Anthony! Don't do it!
Come on!
So in this scene, upon seeing his silhouette, Samus was rendered completely in shock. The horror she sees before her, her long arch nemesis, who is finally dead in Super Metroid, suddenly appears before her once again, staying true to his moniker, the cunning god of death. Nothing in Samus' journey before or after have sent fear down to her spine as much as this absolute evil. Mother Brain, who was like a mother to her, couldn't do that. Metroid Prime, otherwise known as Dark Samus, the absolute most powerful Metroid to ever live, couldn't do that. The X-Parasite, a primal existence that could wipe out all life, couldn't do that either. Yet Ridley, who can't hold a candle to those powerful beings mentioned prior, was able to incapacitate Samus. This is what Ridley is to Samus. He is so much more. Maybe to us the players, he's just another eyesore of a boss that we've beaten over and over again and is nothing more than an obstacle to the game's ending. But to Samus, he is the embodiment of terror. It's at this moment that made me truly appreciate Ridley for the villain that he is. He's not an all-powerful being, nor is he ever the final boss of any game. Go away, Samus returns. And yet his appearance is a bigger threat to Samus than anything else. Now let's talk about his ambitions. While the manga did show us that there is a lot more to Ridley, and that he's not just another mindless savage beast, there doesn't seem to be much to Ridley's goals and motives other than to expand the space pirate's dominance over the galaxy, and have fun while doing so, or at least his twisted version of fun. It is rather simple, but it is effective, especially when he is the exact polar opposite from Samus Aran, who wants nothing but peace throughout the galaxy in a rather stoic and humble manner. Unlike Ridley, who is very likely a narcissist, as he did build a robot of his own image that one time just to flex. Even though he is officially dead at the third game, but even in death, he still haunts Samus, exposing her weakness. Ridley have done just that, but everyone hates it because Metroid is a cool robot who can't crawl. I guess that's it for his ambitions, since there really isn't much to talk about. So let's talk about his power level.
It's over 9,000! What?
He's pretty weak. By himself, he might be able to slaughter a small army, but that's really about it. He only has 2 special powers, which is breathing fire. But guess who can do it too? That's right, Charizard. And the second being regeneration at a very slow pace. But then again, guess who can do it better? That's right, Nurse Joy, who can do 6 at a time. But hey, that's just his physical powers. What about his intelligence? Yeah, he do be pretty smart, but he's no Mother Brain. Her brain juice is so powerful, she actually got a stand and that is Phantom. How about his influential power? Ridley used to be a space pirate leader, but when the group took over Zebes and had Mother Brain join their ranks, he got demoted into a commander without a fight. Now, strategically for the pirates, it made more sense, but Ridley always come off as a selfish brute that cares only for himself. So I do question, why wouldn't he try to make the all-powerful Mother Brain to serve under him, or rule side by side him at least? To wrap this up, he may not ever be the force that makes Samus need to act on to save the galaxy, but he serves as the roadblock that Samus needs to overcome to better herself as a warrior and as a person. And this is why I think Ridley is a cool villain, and I will give him 4 out of 5 stars. Dude is a space dragon, that alone is at least 3 points, right?